Hello, I'm Max Spark, and this is Crash Horse, U.S. History, and today we're going to talk about Vietnam. More specifically, how the Vietnam altered the social and political life of the United States. It all starts at the end of World War II, where France's aggressive colonial rule over Vietnam came to an end. Nations, unsure how Vietnam should be governed, held the Geneva Accords, which concluded in the nation being split by the 17th parallel, with the Communist North and the Democratic South. It was also agreed upon that there would be a democratic election in 1956 to reunite the country. However, anti-communist Southern leader Ngo Dien Diem, urged by the United States, refused to hold the election, seeing the certainty of victory by Ho Chi Minh's Communist North. As a result, the country stayed split until the end of the Vietnam War. So why did the U.S. get involved in Vietnam in the first place? Well, Americans' involvement in Vietnam was sparked as a result of the Cold War era. During the Cold War, U.S. and communist nations' hostility towards each other was as strong as Garfield's hostility for Mondays. And Garfield hates Mondays. It was near a boiling point, and Americans were willing to go nearly any means necessary to prevent the spread of communism. The U.S., seeing the likelihood of Vietnam falling into communist rule over the lifespan of the Vietnam War, sent approximately 2.7 million soldiers to Vietnam, leading to one of the most bloodiest wars in history, with on both sides of the fighting approximately 2 million civilians perishing and a total of 1.1 North Vietnamese and Viet Cong fighters. On the American side, a comparable fragment was lost, with between 200,000 and 250 South Vietnamese soldiers. The effects of Vietnam are long-lasting and have in several ways deeply changed U.S.'s political and social atmosphere. One way it altered the political atmosphere was when the reality of the war was revealed through the Tet Offenses, which led to the loss of many Americans' trust in the government. With events like Snowden and Iraq having weapons of mass destruction, it's common knowledge to us that the government lies sometimes. But you have to understand, before the Vietnam, Americans' trust in the government was concrete. No American would expect the government to lie. The quote I'm about to read is a genuine conversation between a few students in 1976. One said that Lyndon B. Johnson was lying to us about the war. I blurted out, "But an American president would never lie to Americans." They all burst out laughing. Many Americans felt the same concurrence with the government as Karl Martens felt. But a lot of that changed when the reality of the Vietnam War was revealed through the Tet Offense. On Lunar New Year, 1968, the Communist North launched a massive surprise attack on the Laos Cambodian borders. They got hold of 5 major cities and were even able to partially penetrate the walls of the U.S. Embassy in Saigon. The intent of this military exposition was to declare a decisive victory over South Vietnam. Back home, President Johnson and his advisors had been telling Americans that the war was soon to end, and that the North was so ground down, victory was in sight. President Johnson also once told Americans, and I quote, "Jeremy Ford is so dumb he can't fart and chew gum at the same time." When the Tet Offenses occurred, it contradicted what Americans were told. Anti-war protests lit, and it gave reason for Americans to question the authenticity of their government. As mentioned, nowadays, everyone knows people in the government lie or embellish sometimes, but it was the Tet Offensive that was the first domino to fall, bringing the U.S. into a world in which we must fight off misinformation and lies. At least we're not as bad as Russia, right? Right? Like, I know that's a pretty low bar to set, but still. Secondly, it shifted us politically by altering the way our society views war and the military's newfound interest in preserving lives. The Vietnam War was one of the most horrifically bloody wars in history. Throughout the war, we continued to shovel military troops into Vietnam, praying for a victory over the Communist North. However, the North Viet Cong guerrilla-style war tactics and harsh forest terrain were too complex for American troops to withstand, so they resorted to mass bombing and napalm drops, killing hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians. One of the most shocking events that demonstrates the complete absence of care for civilian life was the My Lai massacre. Expecting to encounter Viet Cong soldiers in the little village of My Lai, American forces came heavily armed. To their surprise, the village was filled with primarily women, children, and older men who were just calmly preparing their morning rice. Despite the non-existence of a threat, American soldiers took action, killing over 500 villagers, including young girls and women who were raped and violated before death. It's evident that during the Vietnam era, Americans had no decency for civilians, and it was through the My Lai massacre and the whole of Vietnam that drastically decreased Americans' tolerance for casualties. Without the gruesomeness of Vietnam, Americans would never come to their senses, pressuring the military to make a conscious effort to preserve the lives of civilians, which they have. The quote I'm about to read is from an article called How Vietnam Drastically Changed Our Views on Honor and War. Since Vietnam, Americans' tolerance for casualties has sharply declined. A majority of Americans turned against the Vietnam War only when the number of U.S. dead exceeded 200,000. In Iraq, it just took 2,000 dead for the majority of Americans to oppose the war. Lastly, it changed the U.S. socially by teaching Americans to always treat our veterans with respect. And no matter how immoral or horrific a war might have been, veterans are here to serve and protect. The War of Vietnam veterans did not end when the war was concluded. It continued back home. The contrast between how citizens of the United States treated veterans of World War II and Vietnam veterans is appalling. Veterans of World War II were treated like royalty, returning to emotional cries from loved ones and mass celebration in the streets. When, on the other hand, veterans of Vietnam returned to a society that ostracized them and saw them as the enemy. Veterans recalled being called baby killer and being spat at. So what was the reason for this blatant mistreatment? Well, it all has to do with the content of the war. Japan's surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii broke the long-lasting peace between the two nations, forcing the hand of the United States to go to war. Secondly, it was only 4 days later that Nazi Germany declared war against the United States, employing the U.S.'s role in taking down fascism. On the contrary, Americans' involvement in Vietnam was less pure. As mentioned, Americans during this time were relentless in stopping the spread of communism, so we threw our support at South Vietnam. However, a noble cause, Americans were not interested in Vietnam's affairs. In addition, Vietnam was the first televised war, bringing the gruesomeness and bloodiness right into the family room. Lastly, it was also the first war we lost, destroying our nationalistic egos. What it broke down to was World War II was built off pragmatic intentions and American support, and the Vietnam War was not. So when the war ended, Americans did what we do best. Throw judgment and prejudice at the people we don't understand. Not justifying it, but Americans did this and want to find a culprit for the tragedy that had just unfolded. This unfortunate event, however, set a new precedent for Americans to always treat our veterans with respect, and no matter how immoral or horrific the war might have been, veterans are here to serve and protect. The effects of the Vietnam War are deeply woven into American society. The effects I mentioned are just a few of the ways Vietnam altered American society. Someone could write a Bible-sized book on this topic. Like how it led to the abolishment of the draft, citizens who are 18 years of age can vote, and it taught us that getting out of a war is a lot tougher than getting in. The effects of Vietnam are continuous and still today have defined aspects of American society. It's crucial to understand how the war is knitted into our society because an understanding of it gives people an opportunity to change what they believe, to be the negative effects of the war, and to handle future affairs more successfully. Thanks for watching. Crash Horse is produced and directed by my lovely mother and I. Our script supervisor is Ethan Aday. My associate producer is me. The show is written by me. And our graphics team, you won't believe, is also me.